There are 8 key money habits that are keeping you poor. If you want to build wealth, then you need to ensure that your daily habits are not holding you back. I've spent majority of my life thinking about money, and over the last 5 years have been immersed in finance when I started paying off our debt to become consumer debt-free within 2 years, then getting qualified in financial services and starting a career as a financial advisor specializing in mortgages and KiwiSaver. In my day-to-day work, I have to analyze people's financial positions, and there seem to be key recurring themes that pop up that seem to be holding people back from achieving and getting what they want in life. In today's video, I'm going to share with you 8 of the most common bad money habits that I see and how to break out of them. I've learned that if you're able to avoid these common money mistakes, then you increase your odds of becoming wealthy and getting what you want out of life. So let's get into it. Number 1 is paying for status. What I mean by this is using debt to show off to others and prove your status. This is sure to backfire on you and send you into a spiral of bad financial habits. Leveraging and using debt in a strategic way to create wealth is a different story. For example, taking out a mortgage and leveraging the bank's money could be a good financial move to increase your wealth. What I mean when I say paying for status is using a car loan or financing to buy a new car to show off, for example. You might have heard of that saying, keeping up with the Joneses, and this is exactly that. It's upgrading your life to look good for others, but sending yourself into debt to do so. The way forward and to get out of this bad money habit is to start by choosing your circle of friends wisely. You also need to learn to live within your means and stay in your own lane. Number 2 is lifestyle creep. I've seen this so many times with the people around me, and also myself have been affected by lifestyle creep. And basically what it is that you get a pay increase and then you increase your lifestyle to your new pay level. So for example, you might get a pay rise and then decide it's time to upgrade your car or buy a bigger house. When instead what you could have been doing is maintaining the level of living that you had and instead investing or saving the difference to increase your wealth. This bad habit really does come back to your mindset and how you think of and view money. The mentality of lifestyle creep is, now that I'm being paid X amount of dollars, I can upgrade areas of my life that maybe don't necessarily need upgrading. It ends up being a cycle. The more you make, the more you spend. The way to break out of this bad money habit is to maintain your level of living, and if you get any pay increases, save or invest the difference to increase your wealth. Only upgrade or buy something new if it is absolutely necessary. Number 3 is not paying yourself first. I first came across this concept when I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And basically in this book, he breaks down that there are 2 different types of ways and 2 different types of people and how they pay their bills. The first type of way is the poor people's way, and this is where you receive your paycheck and then you pay everybody else first. You pay your mortgage or your rent, you pay your phone bill, you pay your electricity, you pay any subscriptions, and then you save or invest anything that may be left over, if there is anything left over. That is the poor people's way, and the second type of way is the rich people's way, and this is where they do the exact opposite and they pay themselves first. What you want to do here is take a minimum of 10% of whatever you earn and put that away into a savings account. Now, I personally used to be so bad with this, thinking that my pay would come in and I needed to pay everybody else, pay all my bills first, and then whatever was left was for me to save. Now, the way that I changed this bad money habit was treating that 10% as if it was my first non-negotiable bill that needed to be paid and paying that first before anything else. You really do need to shift your mentality for this one, as it is quite backwards to think that paying other people is more important than taking care of yourself. So do yourself a favor, switch your mentality around and start paying yourself first as if it was a non-negotiable bill that needs to be paid ahead of everybody else. You'll be really surprised how your spending habits change and adapt, and you begin to structure your finances in a much better way. Number 4 is being comfortable with bad debt. More and more people are using debt to buy the smallest things like clothes and presents. It seems like debt these days is just the norm. I used to be like this too. I would just tick things up on my credit cards without a second thought, racking up debt. I have a rule in place for myself now where if I can't purchase something outright with money, then I shouldn't be buying it with debt. Credit card companies want you to be bad with money. This is how they make their money. The average credit card's interest rate is around 22%, and this cancels out all benefits and all rewards if you can't pay it off in full each month. There's also been a rise in recent years of buy now, pay later schemes where you can purchase something for X amount of dollars, something that's not within your means, and then pay it off in installments. If you fail to pay it off in time, you're charged late fees, which are often around 25% of the value of the item. This is exactly the point of these schemes, and this is how they make money. They assume that you're probably going to miss payments because most people are not great with having debt. How to break out of this bad habit is to check in with yourself before each purchase and ask yourself, can I pay for this purchase in full with money that I have available? And if the answer is no, then don't buy it. Number 5 is not having an emergency fund. Essentially, what you want to have is a stash of money tucked away to cover around 3 to 6 months worth of basic living expenses. This is really important as it will not only give you a peace of mind knowing that you've got some money tucked away, but it will also prevent you from going into any debt should any emergencies arise. How to get your emergency fund in place is by paying yourself first. Start putting that 10% away, and then once you've saved up enough to cover 3 to 6 months worth of expenses, then you can look to start putting that money towards your investment fund and looking into investments. I have a whole video about emergency funds, which I'll link down below if you'd like more of a deep dive into this topic. Number 6 is not knowing your income or expenses. Fail to plan, plan to fail is one of my favorite sayings. Until you know exactly where your starting point is, how can you work out where you want to go? It's like driving to a new destination without a map. How will you know which roads to take or where to even stop and get fuel if you don't take the time to know where you're starting from and map out your journey on where you're wanting to go? This is where having a budget, or what I like to call an intentional spending plan, in place is so important. You can map out your income and your expenses so you know exactly how much you're making and exactly where your money is going. You want to be in control of your finances, and knowing exactly where your money is going will really help. If you haven't done anything like this before, then taking a few hours to sit down and do this will really change your life. I'll link up down below my free intentional spending plan so you can get yourself a copy. This is completely free, and I guarantee that it will help you become more aware of your finances. You also want to make sure that you take some time to regularly review your spending plan around every 3 months to ensure it is still reflective of how your finances are tracking. If you get a pay rise, it's important that you reflect this in your plan so that you can map out exactly where this increase in income is going to go. People who know exactly where they are financially, have a good understanding of their assets and their liabilities, and have clear goals on where they are wanting to go are more likely to succeed and become wealthy. Just by being mindful of your numbers and seeing everything in black and white will propel you into action. Number 7 is focusing purely on saving. If you want to improve your financial position, you can firstly focus on saving more of the money that you're currently earning, or you can look for ways to make more money and increase your sources of income. Ultimately, what you want to do is a combination of both. To truly build wealth, you have to focus on saving more of what you make, but also making more. Saving money has a cap where you can realistically only save up to a certain amount. Making money, however, has no cap. There is literally infinite possibility for you to make more money. It could be asking for a pay rise, or starting a side hustle, or even investing your money to get a return. You want to break the bad money habit of thinking that you can save your way to wealth, and instead look for ways to create multiple income streams. Number 8 is not investing sooner. Once you have your emergency fund in place and you've built up that stockpile of funds to fall back on if anything were to happen, the money that you had been contributing to your emergency fund should start getting put to work for you by investing. You want to look at diversifying your investments so that you can weather those different situations that come around in life. You want to avoid leaving more money than is absolutely necessary, which is your emergency fund, in a bank account, because inflation is a thing and it will erode it over time. By putting your money to work for you, by investing, you're hedging your bets against inflation. Start looking at different investment strategies once you've saved enough, and don't leave more money in the bank than you need to. There's always going to be excuses why you can't invest, such as, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, I don't know where to begin. But the thing is, the longer that you wait to start investing, the harder that you're going to have to work to achieve that same level of financial freedom as someone who had started investing earlier. If you're wanting to start investing in the stock market, then there's this really great book which is called Girls That Invest by Simran Kaur, and it's Fantastic for any beginner investors who are looking to get into the stock market. The book walks you through different strategies and unpacks all the jargon so that you can start investing in the stock market like a pro. Now, it's called Girls That Invest, but I truly believe this is a great book for anybody who's looking to start their investing journey in the stock market. I'll link this book down in the description box if you'd like to get a copy and then start your investing journey in the stock market. A lot of wealth building comes back to your mindset and also your daily habits that you have. Building good habits can really set you up for financial success. If you liked this video and found it helpful, let me know down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching today, and I'll see you in the next one.